Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you are having an amazing day. Let's get right into the stories. The first one is an entitled People story. I still remember the day I got injured overseas during my deployment like it was yesterday. An IED explosion that tore through our convoy and left me permanently disabled. Losing my leg was hard, but the support of my service dog Rex made all the difference in helping me transition to civilian life. That German Shepherd was my rock. He helped me with daily tasks and gave me comfort when the darkness crept in. I owed that dog my life. So when my neighbor Karen tried to steal Rex from me, I was determined to get him back no matter what. It started when Karen moved in next door about a year ago. Right from the start, she made snide comments about Rex. "You let that filthy mutt run around off leash? He's going to attack someone," she'd yell any time he was in our fenced yard. Rex wasn't a danger to anyone, but Karen seemed obsessed with trying to get me in trouble over him. I tried to be polite and explain he was a trained service dog, but she didn't care. One day I let Rex out in the yard to do his business. I turned my back for just a minute to wash some dishes when I heard Rex start barking frantically. I rushed outside to see Karen leading Rex out of my yard by his leash. "Hey, what are you doing with my dog?" I shouted. Karen glared at me. "This is my dog now. I'm rescuing him from your negligence." I was stunned. "Give me back my service dog immediately. You can't just steal a disabled veteran's dog." But Karen held tight to Rex's leash and started dragging him towards her house. "I'm his owner now. I'll take better care of him than you ever did." Rex was struggling against her, clearly distressed. I tried to grab his leash back, but Karen smacked my hand away. "Don't touch me or I'll call the police," she threatened. My blood boiled seeing my dog being stolen from me, but with my disability, I knew I couldn't physically restrain her. So as Karen disappeared into her house with Rex, I whipped out my cell phone and called the cops myself. In minutes, a squad car pulled up with its lights flashing. Two officers approached me as I explained what happened. They seemed skeptical until I showed them Rex's service dog papers and adoption records with my name on them. "Ma'am, please open the door," one officer shouted while knocking on Karen's front door. "We need to talk about the service dog." After a minute, Karen opened the door, an innocent look on her face. Rex was seated beside her. "Officers, thank goodness you're here," she said sweetly. "I'm so glad you know about the neglect this poor dog has suffered." I scoffed in disbelief while the officers exchanged a look. "Ma'am, we need you to return the service dog to its rightful owner," the officer said, gesturing towards me. Karen's facade melted away. "No! Rex is my dog now. His owner abandoned him, so I took him in. I'm not giving him back." The second officer stepped forward. "Ma'am, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. Return the dog now or you will be arrested." Karen's lips tightened. She looked down at Rex, who was focused intently on me. "Arrest me then. This poor dog deserves a better life." That was the last straw. The officers moved in, one grabbing Karen's arm while the other clipped handcuffs on her wrists. She screamed and tried to run, but they quickly restrained her. "This is police brutality! You can't do this to me!" Karen shrieked as they dragged her towards the squad car. I happily stepped up and took Rex's leash, reuniting with my dog at last. At the station, Karen was booked for theft of a service animal, a felony charge. I gave my statement about what happened while Rex stayed loyally by my side. The judge showed no leniency at Karen's hearing. She was convicted and sentenced to 2 years in prison. I was also granted a restraining order against her. Karen caused me a lot of grief trying to steal Rex, but in the end, justice was served. With her locked away, Rex and I can now live in peace, the best buddies that we were always meant to be. I'm just grateful I have my dog back safe and sound where he belongs. The next one is a pro-revenge story. Sometime around 2002, my wife and I moved into an 1,100 square feet condominium with 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. We were very fortunate to get this condominium as the second owner, and we paid only $114,000, $6,000 more than the original price. Our condo was on the 3rd floor, and all rooms were carpeted throughout with only one small 4x4 square of linoleum inside the front door to the outside breezeway. This will become important later. And yes, even the bathrooms, kitchen, and dining room were carpeted. The front door opened to a large open space with vaulted ceilings, with the great room to the left, and the dining room and kitchen to the right. The kitchen area was separated from the great room with a wall that had a cutout over the kitchen sink, and we had a long hallway directly going out of the great room to all the bedrooms and straight in front of the front door. We got to know some of the neighbors and got along well with most of them. The neighbors directly below us were a young couple attending university and they were nice and cordial with us. Shortly after they graduated, they rented out their condo to her brother and his college friends. The brother was a decent guy, and we mostly had no problems, except for one of his birthdays where their music, boisterous conversations, and happy birthdays, etc. kept us up until 4:30 a.m. in the morning. My wife and I returned the favor by blasting our music the very next morning at 8 a.m. But we talked a couple of weeks later and all had a laugh about it, and we never had any real problems after that. Between 2004 and 2006, we changed all the flooring in the kitchen and dining room to ceramic tile, including the area in front of the front door, to avoid having to pay for carpet cleaning in the dining or kitchen area due to spills or our young daughter throwing food on the floor from her high chair. In 2007, our cordial neighbors sold their condo to an older newlywed couple, late 20s to early 30s. Now, if anyone has lived between a first and a third floor condo or apartment, you will know that it is the worst place to be if you expect silence. With kids or music, you will always have some noise that filters through the floor or ceiling. I don't know what they were thinking or expecting when they moved in there. I was blissfully unaware that the condo had been sold until one day about a month later, I brought home a powered subwoofer and hooked it up to my home theater sound system, around 6 p.m. I promptly put on an action flick with some big explosions and sat down to enjoy the new and improved immersive sound. After a little bit of gunfire and 2 explosions, I hear the doorbell ding-dong. I get up and immediately hear ding-dong again. I walk the 5 feet to my front door and open it to see my entitled neighbor, I'll call her Karen, standing on my doorstep. Me. Hi, can I help you? Very agitated Karen. My husband and I are trying to enjoy a quiet and peaceful dinner. Can you please turn down whatever show you are watching? We can hear everything that's going on. Me. Oh, sure. Sorry about that. She turned around and walked away. I closed the door, turned the subwoofer down a ways and the main volume down a bit and thought nothing of it. Shortly after the next round of gunfire and explosions, I hear the ding-dong and then some rapid-fire knocking at my door. I paused my movie and then I opened the door to see Karen again. Me. Hi, what can I do for you? Karen. We can still hear everything from your show. You need to turn it down now. At this point, I was a little fed up with her crap and decided to call her on it. Me. You say you can hear everything. Can you give me some of the last dialogue you heard? Karen. I don't know. I just know you are watching XXX show. She was totally wrong. Me. No, I am actually watching YYY movie, and here are the last 3 lines of dialogue. And I gave her those lines. Me. It seems you can't hear my movie as well as you are claiming. Karen, with blazing eyes and red in the face. I don't care. It's too loud. You need to turn it down. Me. Actually, the noise ordinance says I don't have to turn it down until 10 p.m. Karen, getting huffy. Fine. I guess my husband and I will have to go out to eat to get some peace and quiet. Me, in my most cheerful voice and waving. Have a good night. I then turned my subwoofer up a little and the main volume back up to its previous level and enjoyed the rest of my movie. The neighbors did end up going out that night for dinner or whatever. At our next homeowner association meeting, Karen stands up and complains long and loud about the noise. How she can hear kids jumping on the carpeted floor, we had a 4-year-old, and crying, we had a new baby, and hear us walking up and down our hallway and hear our music and movies and TV shows and how the Hispanic neighbors on the first floor play their music on Saturday mornings so loud they can't sleep in and argue so loud they can hear every word, etc., etc., ad nauseum. This went on for 6 months. Every time she complained, the homeowner association told her, if it's between the hours of 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., we can do nothing. If it's after 10 p.m. and before 8 a.m., you can call the police. And then the homeowner association would send out a letter by U.S. mail asking everyone to be cognizant of their neighbors and laying out the local city noise ordinance. I finally stopped attending the homeowner association meetings after month 3 of the same bullcrap. She never failed to visit at least once or twice in the week after these notices, and twice she taped them to my door. I also learned during this time that they were members of our church and had actually been assigned to visit us each month. They never did. Cue the pro-revenge. Around the 6-7 month mark of her constant complaints and harassment and even a couple of visits from some very apologetic police officers after 11 p.m. at night, they said they could hear nothing outside of my condo door. We decided to upgrade our flooring. We knew this would inflame our entitled neighbor, but we didn't care as we were tired of the constant stream of complaints from them. We chose to extend the entry tile all the way from the front door, down the long hallway to the master bedroom door, and we wanted to tile the bathrooms as well. We also went with a light coffee-colored bamboo hardwood in our great room. So demolition first. We tore out the carpet and tack strips and pried the base molding trim off the walls. As I'm removing the last of the nails from the walls and subfloor about noon on a Saturday, wouldn't you know it, bang, bang, bang from the front door. Me, yes? Karen, can you keep it down? I'm trying to have a pampered chef party. Me, sure. I promptly finished pulling or driving in nails and then proceeded to bang my hammer all over the subflooring like I was driving loads of new nails for the next hour, and made sure to turn on my stereo to the local hard rock station and turn it up for the next 4 hours. FYI, the one Saint floor neighbors were already blaring some great mariachi music. They did this every Saturday and Sunday as they cleaned their condo from top to bottom. We then rented a hardwood floor nailer that, in addition to compressor noise and too loudly driving a nail into the flooring and subfloor, also had to be struck with a large dead blow hammer. Bang, bang, bang. It took us 2-3 days to install the coffee-colored bamboo hardwood flooring in the great room, and we were sure it was driving Karen absolutely batty. We ended up installing an awesome tile inlay down the hall, had tile running from the front door to the master bedroom door along the great room side of the divider wall, tile in the dining room, kitchen, and both bathrooms. We got the base molding on, more nail gun and compressor fun, and caulked. The new floors looked amazing, and the bonus was every time a hard shoe, like my daughter's favorite Sunday shoes she wore everywhere, every day, or high heel, my wife chose to learn how to do everything in 4-6-inch stilettos during this time, struck the floor. It was like the impact echoed through our perfect floors. All this was due to our neighbor complaining. It was also in preparation to sell our condo as we had grown out of it by this time. We sold it within 1 month of listing at $160,000. During closing, the real estate agent for the new owners told us that the floors absolutely sold this place. We also sold at the very top of the real estate boom right before the real estate market crashed. We later learned from some of our neighbors that within 9 months of our selling our condo, the 2 end-floor entitled neighbors moved out and sold their condo for $30,000 less than we had, and took about an $8,000 loss, and sent a letter of complaint to the homeowner association stating their condo was unlivable because of the noise from our incredible floors. The next one is a petty revenge story. I want to note that I dislike Airbnb, and I think a majority of the hosts have no business being hosts. I have had some bad experiences and have avoided using them for the past 4 years. Someone gifted me an Airbnb gift card, and I had it in my possession for over 2 years. I thought, okay, it has been 4 years. Wounds heal, and maybe I can try it again and finally use this gift card. Also, I'm not a Karen, and I rarely leave bad reviews. Normally, I try to be very understanding of situations and not vengeful, but this experience had too many issues for me to ignore. I planned a vacation to Canada and found a listing for a condo with a 4.5-star rating, 3 bedrooms, and 2 bathrooms. The price seemed okay, and it had a designated underground parking space available for our car rental. I booked the place and didn't think much of it. 3 days before my reservation, the owner sent me instructions on how to access his place, the parking garage, etc. There is a note in his instructions stating that the property does not permit short-term rentals like Airbnb, and if anyone asks, I should lie and say I am staying for a month. Okay, whatever shady stuff you want to do, fine with me, as long as I don't get into any legal trouble here. I had no problems locating the condo and letting myself in using the instructions provided. However, there were a slew of other problems that I don't think I should have had to deal with. 1. The underground garage key button did not work, though cars would come in and out of the underground parking. No matter what I pressed on the garage key, it wouldn't work. I messaged the owner who said, try this, try that, get closer, and I fiddled with this thing for an hour. I ended up parking on the street, but that was not permitted for overnight parking. Overall, I spent like 3 hours on this dumb garage key issue during the whole trip. His solutions were, go replace the battery on the garage key button, but I didn't have a screw to free the battery from inside the garage key. I was also a bit annoyed that I had to spend my vacation time fixing an issue with his garage key. He would send someone over, but that person never came, and he changed his mind 4 hours later to send someone. He suggested I park in a paid parking lot, a one-way 15-minute walk away from the condo. I would have to spend 30 minutes a day walking to and from my vehicle. He would pay for parking, but nothing else. I suggested he pay for an Uber each day or give me a discount for the time I'm losing each day, but he wouldn't. A big reason I booked this Airbnb was because of the parking spot. 2. Why am I paying a cleaning fee? The condo was not clean. Just the toilet was clean, I think, and the floor was swept. The carpet floors had human hair all over it, gathering up around the corners and around the bed. The beds were made, but the bed sheets were not washed. You could smell body odors on them. There was a washer and dryer in the condo, so we threw all of the bed sheets, pillow covers, and towels into the wash. It took about 4 hours to get through all of that laundry. 3. The TV that sits on a TV stand was flimsy and broken. If you put any weight on the side of the TV stand, the top portion of it would dislodge, and the TV would topple over, which it did, and a 15-year-old flat-screen TV was broken. I took responsibility and replaced it with a brand new one. He was fine with that. I didn't blame him, but did inform him the stand was broken and sent him a video of it. He said he saw nothing wrong with it. 4. While I was replacing the TV, I also took the garage key with me and replaced the battery. The garage key still doesn't work. I sent him the receipt for the battery purchase and my PayPal information. I had to message him 3 times until he randomly sent me a wire using Canada banks that I couldn't accept, as I have a US bank. He just said, "Too bad." I had to take it up with Airbnb, who reimbursed me. After all of that, the Airbnb host said his cleaning lady tried the garage key, and she was able to get it to work by standing really close to the garage hub box. I'm not sure what it is called. I don't see the point in him saying that, but whatever. I left him a bad review on Airbnb, but I just didn't think it was enough. Here comes my revenge I remembered on the first day of my stay. Someone knocked on our door and asked who we were. I lied according to the host's instructions that we were visiting from out of town and staying for a month. I looked up the property management company of that building and emailed them. I informed them of his instructions to lie, shared the Airbnb listing link, and specified what unit it was. I got a response a few days later, and the property management said it was unacceptable, and they will be speaking to the owner. I'm not sure what the outcome is. I'll check in a few weeks to see if the listing is still up. Let's see if I shut down his Airbnb business. The next one is a malicious compliance story. Alright, I was telling a friend this story, and she pushed me to share, so I hope this counts. The year was 2000, and I was 9 years old. For context, I'm the oldest of 6. Mom was ready to pop out the 4th at the time, and it was a very hot July day. So my brother, 7 at the time, and I were fighting over a box of crackers on the kitchen counter. Why were we on the kitchen counter? Who knows, but I'm sure at the time it seemed like a great place to fight over a box of Cheez-Its. So I'm trying to pull the box away from him, he's trying to pull the box away from me, and eventually, he gets the grand idea to push me off the counter. I go tumbling and land hard on my right arm. Even though I was only 9, I'd already broken a leg, my other arm, and all of the toes in both my feet. I knew what a broken bone felt like, and I was positive that my arm was broken. The problem was I felt almost no pain due to a very high pain tolerance from my rough and tumble childhood. To this day, I have a stupidly high pain tolerance. So I know my arm is broken. I can't move it properly, I can't make a fist, and I can't use my fingers. So I go to my mom, who's trying to keep cool from both the weather and my second brother growing inside her, and say, "Mom, I need you to take me to the doctor. My arm is broken and I need a cast." Now, my mom would later become not so great, but at the time she was still a pretty okay mom. And looking back on it, I can't really blame her for not believing me at the time. So she shooed me away and said, "I don't want to hear anything about your arm. You're fine. Stop bothering me." Okay then, I'm a good daughter. I will not bother my mom about my arm anymore. The rest of the day goes by with me playing around with my broken arm. I'm holding it up with my other arm while watching TV. I'm holding on to the swing with one hand, and I'm trying to teach myself how to write with my left hand, because who knows how long it will take to heal a broken arm without a doctor. Finally, I have to go to my mom because I need to go to the bathroom, and I can't unbutton my jeans without both my hands. She's been getting more and more annoyed with me as she's watched me baby my arm all day, and she finally snaps at me, telling me that she'll take me to the doctor, but if my arm isn't broken, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. I agree, not too worried because I know my arm is broken, and we head to the hospital. The entire ride is spent with my mother coming up with more and more detailed threats. If we get to the doctor, they're going to give you a big shot. I hate needles, but again, I know my arm is hurt, so I insist we keep going. We finally get to the hospital, and the nurse says, Oh, her arm isn't broken, but we'll give her an x-ray just to humor her. Guess what? A complete forearm break. Mom felt horrible and bought me pizza and candy, something we almost never got, and I didn't have to share any of it. So yeah, I don't know if this really counts as true malicious compliance, but I like to think of it as baby's first steps towards being the sarcastic lil crap I am today. Thank you for watching. I would really appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We'll see you again tomorrow.